Hello YouTube. Back in October, I received a package from my friend. She lives in South California. And now I want to show you what I received and how it looks now. There is a puffy pedalum philippinense. Wow, and she even sent me two plants in one. So I was very impressed because it looks like this one I have. That's my prime child, and Philippinense has petals going all the way down and curly. So I'm excited to have this one. And 2.5 months later, I can show you that plant. I potted both plants in one pot, and when I received it, leaves were all wrinkled and leathery looking. They still look the same. I don't think they will get better because that plant didn't have good roots. What here you can see they are growing better from the base, but plant didn't have good roots. They were or dried or rotten. When I reported, the roots were only maybe 2.5–3 inches long. No wonder plant was not getting enough moisture or nutrition. Of course, leaves are suffered. I don't know at this point if leaves can recover completely, but there is a new growth, and actually this one doubled its size in the last 2.5 months, and I can see a new leaf coming through the center of the fan. So that's a good sign. I think this one will grow and recover maybe in a year or so. I added bone meal into the media. That's a good source of nitrogen, phosphorus, and calcium. Also, I added oyster shells. Got shells at the local pet store, so they sell them to feed chicken for stronger eggs. And now I'm taking you back in October, and the next item in the package is Bulbophyllum medusa. Always wanted to have one. William, his channel is Green Pets, has an amazing one. When I saw his in bloom, it's just a stunning plant. This one is a little division and roots are completely dead, which is sad. But we'll see what I can do with it. Bulbophyllums grow pretty well for me. And this new latest pseudobulb, it might produce more roots and plant will be okay. And now 2.5 months later, hanging in my greenhouse and watering every 2 or 3 days, yet bulbs look even more shriveled. No sign of new roots coming out yet, but I hope it will pick up in spring. And yes, old pseudobulbs giving all their energy to this one because it's still pretty plumped. But even on the picture of blooming ones, their pseudobulbs look shriveled and wrinkly. Flowers are gorgeous, named after Medusa gorgona. Back in October, my next gifted orchid, Bulbophyllum again. Yes, my friend knows how much I enjoy growing bulbophyllums. This one is Bulbophyllum fascinator, variation semi-alba. That's much better condition. Nice pseudobulbs and roots look alive. And now, 2.5 months later, that's how it looks, mounted and blooming. I put it on piece of bark, added live moss. That moss grows around my house by the north wall where it's shady and wet. I hope it stays alive and keep growing on the mount. Was really excited when that bulbophyllum decided to bloom. I have fascinator, the red one, but this one is green, and look at these little antennas and purple little hair, fuzzy hair, and very deep burgundy color, bouncing tongue. So cool. There is another Bulbophyllum fascinator, alba, more rare one when there is no purple, white hair, and the tongue is yellow color. But structure and the shape of the flower are the same. I own a few bulbophyllum, but no one had that double-ended tail, or you call them antennas. What I like about bulbophyllums, they grow pretty fast compared to some other orchids. And if you ask me about fragrance, I refuse to call them fragrant, but they do have a scent. This one smells like a fish. My husband will not smell it. Okay, back in October, what's next? Looks like another bulbophyllum. Yes, it is. And this one is Bulbophyllum cherry or cherry. Don't know how to pronounce it right. Roots look good to me. What you can do really bad to bulbophyllums, let their roots completely dry. This one looks a climbing one, good for mounting or baskets. And rhizome looks very interesting. And pseudobulbs, almost nothing. And that's how it looks now. Pretty healthy. No new growth yet, but again, it's winter. I looked it up, how it's going to look when it blooms. Flowers are big, they're single, and remind me of crabs. Don't know the scent, so I will have to be patient and figure it out when mine will bloom. Next orchid in the package is neofinetia, and look at her leaves, variegated leaves. Few days before I received the package, I was watching Roger's channel and he showed his neofinetia exactly like this one, and I liked it a lot. I decided I need one. My friend, she's a mind reader. Could not believe she sent me exactly what I was looking for. Her name is Neofinetia falcata Gojo Fukirin, which you can translate from Japanese. I looked it up like Imperial City. I like this one a lot. Planted it in a net pot with sphagnum moss in it, and I have only one root alive. The rest of them, they were rotten. But in winter, all my neofinitias, they go dormant a little bit. But this one grew that central leaf a little bit. I see that white color in the very center. I guess that leaf got longer a little bit. I keep it almost dry in a cool side of my greenhouse. That's how it's going to bloom someday. But the most exciting orchid I got back in October, guess what it is? It is Bulbophyllum phalaenopsis. I could not believe my eyes. I always wanted it. I saw one in the Phipps Conservatory, our botanical garden, a huge one, and its pseudobulbs look like dinosaur eggs, how big they are. And I think it's the stinkiest plant on the earth. Please don't think, guys, something is wrong with me and I like stinky plants. No, it's not. I just like them for their unusual and bizarre flowers. And see, that's how leaves look now. 2.5 months later, how huge that last leaf grew, almost the size or even longer than the previous one. So plant is doing well. I potted it in a shallow pot. Learned it from Brad. His channel is Brad's Greenhouse in Canada, and it doing awesome. Look how many new roots I got on that latest growth. They grow well. I keep it wet. I have a humidity around 17 in my greenhouse, and this is a warm grower. It's hanging up almost at the roof, so getting enough sun. And look at those beautiful bulbs, and I just noticed there is something underneath of that bulb. Is it a new growth, or maybe it's dried out already? I'm not sure. Did not pay attention back in October if it was here, but we will see. Leaves are beautiful with that purple edge and a powdery substance on them. Like my Brassavola digbiana, it has that whitish powdery cover on her leaves to protect plant from the sunburn when leaves are still young and delicate. Love it. There is something else on the bottom of my package. Orchids magazines. Yes, Orchid Digest. I'll put them on my nightstand and something to read before bed. To watch YouTube and Google info about orchids, it's one thing, but in those magazines you can find really interesting information. And look at those pictures. That's a Paphiopedilum glaucophyllum. I have one. This one on my windowsill blooming 8 months in a row. 8 or 9 flowers, one after another. And look here. Step-by-step instruction how to plant neofinetia Japanese way. And this actually look exactly like the one I just received. So cool, we'll learn how to do that. Yeah, but I will need a very good quality sphagnum moss with long strings. I'm very thankful to my friend for all those gifts and so excited to receive so many species. Yep, good luck to me growing them. It's going to be a challenge. Oh, I have this one, Neofinetia falcata and Neostylis Louis Neri. Bluebird was blooming last month. Oh, and the yellow one, Neofinetia coca, I have this one too. How she could get me even magazine with the orchids I have. Yeah, this one she just sent me. Since more orchids in the video, bulbophyllums, I wanna show you one I have in bloom now, Anadali eye, cross frosty eye. Too bad I just broke a spike because I was trying to get that orchid from my greenhouse to bring it inside to film. Temperatures are negative here in Pennsylvania, so even greenhouse is not far away, maybe 30 feet or 40, but I have to cover orchid in a blanket to bring it inside and see, broke a spike. What I like about this one, it blooms fourth time in this year. This plant is able to produce more than one spike from the same pseudobulb. Love this little stinker. And the last bulbophyllum in bloom I want to show you guys, Wendlandii. This one actually the same friend got for me last May. It bloomed in July with 2 spikes. Then 6 months later I got 2 new growths, and as you can see they bloom on not matured pseudobulbs. So second one is on its way. This one has 4 flowers, but I saw some growers, they get even 5 flowers on one spike. Maybe I should feed it more often. Flowers are long, just beautiful, that yellow and red. And see how delicate they are. Stinky again, but you cannot smell if the plant is even a foot away from your face. If you put your nose into the flower, yes, you smell rotten fish. But I don't put my nose into a flower. It grows on a piece of wood, and moss, you can see, is alive. That's why I'm afraid to give it too much of fertilizer. I don't want to kill that beautiful moss. I keep it always wet. Usually I soak them in a bucket for good 30 minutes, maybe every 2 or 3 days. But on the days I'm not soaking them, I'm spraying my mounds with a spray bottle. Try and do not let them go completely dry. On this type of bulbophyllum, roots start to come after orchid blooms or after blooming, and the spike comes right underneath of the leaf. Flowers so pretty, so unusual, with those little red tongues waiting for flies to come and bounce on them, get them pollinated. But sorry, there is no flies in winter. But this little guy does not know he is in Pennsylvania and it is -2 Fahrenheit right now. And in greenhouse, I'm trying to keep temperature up to 65, but it's barely holding 58 for the last couple days. This morning, I could not even open a door to get in. It got frozen and my poor orchids on their own for 2 days straight. But I have a digital thermometer in the kitchen which shows me what temperature is inside the greenhouse, so I keep my eye on it. But can't sleep well. What if we go out of power? Nope, not thinking about it. We'll try to get a closer look at the moss. See those red speckles? They're spores. Moss is in bloom too. So fertilizing weekly with very weak fertilizer, and it does not kill the moss, which I like. That's all for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, leave me a comment please. I would love to read it. Happy growing everybody. Until next time. Bye bye.